Welcome back to the YouTube channel, guys. Today we're going to go over this and see what it needs and service it. We're going to have to get a parts list down and call the customer and see what he says. Now, I've already been around this, just a quick assessment, and I want to show you some of the things that it needs. Come over here. Needs a front wheel bearing here, and A-arms are loose back there. So these are all things that I'm going to point out to you that you should look for on your machine often, very often. Let's come over here. And again, this one's the worst yet, but the A-arm is tight. So it needs 2 front wheel bearings. We do have to get the tires off and look at the brake pads, get a good look at those. He does need a battery. He bought this rig this way. It does need a battery. It didn't even want to start this morning. So it does need a battery. He's also going to get a primary clutch kit and a secondary helix. And we're going to have to check the fluids, but we'll do that here later on this video. Let's call him and see what he says about it. But I want to get his tires off and look at the brakes first. So let me do that. Wow.
You can't even see anything.
No. You got to take care of your stuff. You got to wash your shit. Don't let this happen. I can see the pad, and it looks like it's on the low side, but it also looks like it has plenty of pad. Yeah, there's plenty of pad there. Yeah, I can see it through here. The piston don't even look like it's out very far, so this side's good. Doesn't seem to be leaking either. Now, he has almost no pedal, but we went through that before on a few of them and bled them, and they were fine. I mean, yeah, he's gonna need brakes here pretty soon. Probably get the rest of the year out of it. So, yeah, that one's good too. That one's also good. We're going to bleed these brakes. This one's just as bad. This one's also good. Yes. So there is pad, plenty of pad. They're low. They're about half life. So I would say if he cleans these up, I'm going to bleed them. If I can bleed them dirty, I'm going to bleed them, and we're going to do that on camera. But I would say if he takes his pressure washer and gets in there good, these will get cleaned up real nice, and they'll work a lot better than what they do right now. So we went ahead, saved time, we got everything loose. You want to take out the caliper bolts right here. Take those out. And we're just going to slide this caliper off. Slide the caliper and the drum off of there. It'll be fine. This is a steel braided line. Ain't going to hurt it at all. Now we got a bolt here, or a nut here, a nut over here on the tie rod, and a nut down here. Just like so. Take those off, and we can pull that out. Now, sometimes those won't come out, so you'll want to take the hammer and crack it right here on this edge, and it'll knock this out. Same with the tie rod. Crack it, and it'll come right out. Sometimes they just come loose. These ones came loose. Let's go ahead and tap that axle out of there. Now let's go to the bench and show you how to change this bearing. Here's your knuckle side. Here's your bearing side. You're going to have a C-clip down in here. Now, you can't just tackle it with your C-clip pliers, you're going to want to get it moving around like so, because it's going to be stuck and rusted in there. And we got it moving. Now we can take our C-clip pliers. You know what? Whoops. Better turn those around. Like so. Ugh. Not quite. Still stuck on this side. That'll get her to loosen up. Come on. There we go. Should loosen. There we go. We just set her aside like that. Now it has to come out that way. So we have our ball joint press set up, which is also set up to do, you know, you can do wheel bearings and stuff with it. Super easy to do. We have a cup here, and then we have a little cup on this side. Now all we're going to do is push it out. We are out with it. There we go. There's that old, wow, it's screwed, really screwed now, but there we go. Now we can get our new bearing, put that in. So here's where you got to get a little bit crafty going back together. We used a different cup back here, which this is a whole kit that I have. And I'll have a link down below as the same kit that I have. And you can get these brand new wheel bearings off my website. We carry everything you're going to see in this video on my website, rngperformance.net. So we use an old bearing to push in the new bearing, because when you push in the bearing, you want to do it on this very outer edge. And then the old bearing is going to sit there real nice. So now we can just send her home, baby. So now all we have to do is put back in our C-clip, and she's done. Just like so. C-clip's in. Bearing rolls nice and smooth. We're going to give it a squirt of grease. There we go. She's greased up, ready to rock. Now just take her, slide her up on here. Like so. Set her down on there. Get set that up there. Get our nuts back on there. And we're gonna have to put new cotter keys in, which is no big deal. Now we get this up here, like so. All right, there we go. Got that. Now I just take this, slide it on, put our caliper bolts in. Got those in. Put this down in. All right, now we give everything a tighten down and a shake down, and we get her back together. Let's do that. Oh, we go ahead and we got new cotter keys in there. She's all greased up. We just got to tighten that nut up, and she's done, and we got to do the other side. Time to get the clutch cover off so we can install his clutch kit. Now, one little issue we may run into, sometimes these covers, when they've been on there a long time, they don't want to come off. So what we start out doing is like that, okay? And a lot of times they'll come right off. So you just got to go around, take out all the little bolts, you'll see them, and then we'll slide this cover right out of the way. It actually looks good in there considering the rest of the buggy. There we go. That stuff just fell in there. So, and I always like it when the metal gasket stays on the motor. If it stays there, you have it made. So let's get in there, get those clutches out. Them things look really good considering the rest of the buggy. So these clutches are different than the trail block clutches that you guys see with the bolt right here. This is a wet clutch setup. And this one, it's all balanced. You don't have to really mark it to put it to where it's supposed to go. But we do that anyway, just so we know where everything went. There we go. Now this one is lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Both of these are. There we go. Get that out of there. Now we're going to show you how to, guess we might have to tap that a little bit too. Sometimes these will be stuck. Just give them a quick little tap. They come right off. There is no spring on this here unit, but I recommend taking this off. Don't forget to put it back on. But there's no spring on this unit. All it is roller weights. So when you guys get my clutch kit, a lot of people ask, how come I didn't get a spring? Well, this is why if you have this clutch. It looks good. We'll get that belt out of there. We'll inspect that. Let's get that off of there. So a lot of times the battery impact will not do it. See? Big dog gets her every time. So we can, we gotta get that belt off of there. We're gonna need the spreader tool, which I sell on my website. That spreader tool in there working. All right, belt should come off now. Now we're going to unspread that. All right, let's get that belt off. There we go. We'll hang that there. Get the belt off, you pull this secondary through, just like so, she comes right out. Now let's get it to the bench and take a look. All right, this gentleman wanted a lot of bottom end, which the kit that we give him, he's still gonna have pretty good top speed. He'll still be able to hit 60 easy. So he's getting our big tire helix. We're gonna clock it to B1 with his stock secondary spring on this model. And he's getting our primary kit. So without further ado, let's get started. A lot of you guys have been asking me about videos on this unit. And I have done some in the past, but we have came up with much better kits than what we had before. So let's go ahead and do this. Pull that C-clip out of there. Pull this off. Now guys, some of you may encounter a sticky helix. If you do, just take a rubber mallet, pull this up, and you'll be able to slide this back and forth. Tap this with a rubber mallet and it'll free itself. Oh, kind of like that. Sometimes they stick. You just hit it like so. don't know why it's that one's sticking pretty good. There we go. It popped loose. But that's all you got to do. It'll pop loose. And you're not going to hurt a thing. But yeah, sometimes they always stick there. Just the nature of the beast. Push down. Get that nut loose. Now, our cotter key, it always falls out right there. All right, so we want to grab our helix. We want to clock it to B1. So on helix is the 1 position. On the secondary is going to be the B position. All right. That in there. That down. Like so. Run it down. Once we get down real close, we're going to want to slow down. If you don't get this straight on, you can mar up the helix, and then you're going to have to go and file it. What I do recommend, though, is taking some emery cloth around this shaft to clean up the rust and stuff. So we got it close. We got it lined up. Now what I like to do so we don't have to fight it later is line up the keyway right there. Now we go down with it. I can get them bang on now because I've done so many of them. All right, so we get our keyway in there. Have to turn it just a hair. Get our keyway in there, like so. Now what I do is I back it up, clock it, hold it. This clocking part is important. Don't skip that step. Now what we do is put our C-clip back on. There we go. Make sure it's clipped into place. And then bring it back up, take the tension off. There we go. Now just go around it. Looks like it's all, yep, it's all in there. Now we just do this. Now we pull this clutch part. We empty those out. We don't need those. Clean this. Just wipe it out real good. Now we take our new rollers that you bought from me on my website. Put them in. And then we put this back down on. Guys, do not forget these plastic pieces. Do not forget those. And some of you guys are messaging me, Redneck, I have rattle in my clutch. This clutch and the trail block clutch, it's these plastic pieces. I do sell these on my website. I don't have them for the wet clutch, but I do have them for the trail block. Or you can just leave it alone because it'll be fine. All right, let's go put it back together. All right, so we're going to take our secondary and we're going to slide it in there first. Just like so. Get it up in there. So we're going to want to spread the secondary and put the belt back on. That belt on just like so. There we go. Now while that belt's still loose, we slide this collar on there like so. And don't forget we want to line up our marks. Put that on there. Now we can put our nut on there. Now we just got to get the cover back on. That's it. Spin that, tighten up that belt. There we go. Belt's nice and tight now. We'll get the cover back on. That's easy. So now it's time that we bleed the brakes. I didn't want to mess with my big camera, so we're going to switch over to my phone. We have a brake bleeder for a car. Now this is kind of a sketchy setup on an off-road vehicle, but you can do it and I'm going to show you how. So you got to have a kit like this. I'll have it linked in the description below. This is not a cheap kit. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to have roughly 200 bucks in it. I think that's what it was when I bought this kit. Now, it has a universal piece, kind of like this, but a little bigger one is what we're going to use. Bring that in over here. So we have the pressurized reservoir there.
I'm too far. There you go.
So we have the pressurized reservoir right there, and it comes up here, and we have that attached to the brake reservoir. So we have this full of brake fluid. Now we just pump it up. Just like so. Got enough in there to do this one. She's shooting like a rocket. We want to catch as much of it as we can. And we're just going to let her bleed for a minute. We've already did the other 3. So after this, he should have a good pedal. Brand new fluid has been flushed through the system, which is good. And all we got to do is wash it and clean the radiator, and it's done. I'm going to let that bleed out. There we go. It's nice and clear now, so he should have a good brake pedal now. But that's how you bleed brakes on a ATV or a side-by-side. The easy way, no more of that fighting. Well, we got the radiator all cleaned out, guys. Check it out, no more mud in it. They said it was going to like 5 bars. We got in there and it was a cake full of mud. Got that. Got a new battery, which we will have batteries on our website soon. I have a shipment on the way. There are branded batteries that we're gonna have. We went and we greased everything. We bled the brakes. It's got brakes. The pads are at about half-life, so he's gonna get some pads at the end of the summer, and we'll get them put on there. Got the clutch kit, and she's a full ripper, dude. Ready to go. We did 2 front wheel bearings. I have no idea what a bird. Where'd the birds come from? Get out of my garage. You don't want to be in there. Get out of my garage, little guy. Come on. There's birds around here. Where'd he go? He's right here. I don't think they can fly, honey. No, I think they're... Let's get him.
Here, here. We got another one over here.
Yeah, I know there's 2. I'm going to try and get him. Where's he at? I don't know where he went. I don't want him in here because he'd get closed up in here.
Yeah, I know. There's another one over here, too.
Yeah, I don't think they can fly.
Yeah,
I think they're babies.
they might be. I don't know. There's something.
So we need to get them somewhere so the mom and dad can find them.
Yeah, I know. The one is over here.
Let's see.
Came to the gate.
Where'd he go?
See it?
He's in here somewhere. I just don't want him getting lost in here because he'll get shut in here and die.
Yeah, I know. And it gets hot in here, too.
And it gets hot in here. Well, they're birds. They're outside. Well, I'll leave the doors open. Keep an eye out. Because he went under my side-by-side somewhere. I can't find him now. But if we leave him alone, he knows the way out. So, anyway, back to the side-by-side. Front wheel bearings, greased it. Checked all the brakes, bled the brakes, showed you guys how to do that. And she's ready for the trails, guys. I want to thank you for stopping in and tuning in. And if there's anything you've seen in this video that you might want off my website, www.rngperformance.net. We'll have the batteries, we'll have the LED lights we have, we'll have the wheel bearings. We have the best price on the wheel bearings. So, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Peace out. God bless. We'll see you in the next one.